Welcome back, it's your guy Engineer Mojo. Today I'm going to be showing you how to fix a small crack in your automotive window using an off-the-shelf product. To get this started fast, tools you'll need are generic window cleaner. I'm using Windex here. You also need some kind of black tape. Also a pick of some sort, small pick. I'm using a small micro flathead screwdriver, and also a repair kit of your choice. I'm using JB Weld. I've used other brands as well, so this will partly be a review for this product. First step, you want to avoid direct sunlight, so you want to find a nice shaded area to work under. Sunlight will prematurely activate the repair resin, so that's why you want to have a nice shaded area to work under. Here's a close-up of the small chip that's in my window that I want to fix. Now I want to get this early. It's small now, but usually these self-repair kits can only fix a maximum size of about 1 inch of a crack. So I'm trying to get this early before it gets any bigger and propagates throughout the window. Here I'm starting the clean process, just taking the generic window cleaner. Again, I'm using Windex, doing a wipe down. I will wipe down the inside as well as the outside of the window. I choose to clean the inside so that way I don't see any residual dirt or grime that may affect how I view the crack on the window shield. Now this part is optional, but I find that I have better results when I apply a dark tape behind the crack on the inside of the windshield. Essentially, that's an extra layer of protection and precaution from any interior reflections of sunlight coming back and reflecting and causing premature activation of the resin. Next step is to remove any loose pieces of glass that may be in the crack. I'm using a small micro flathead screwdriver here, but also most kits provide you with a small pick or tack to go in there and kind of pluck out any of the loose pieces of glass. Just be careful here not to go too crazy. You don't want to, again, propagate that crack beyond the fixing capability of the kit. After picking, go ahead and give it another clean, wipe over. Now these self-repair kits are fairly consistent on what they have inside the box, so I'm going to go over the exact procedure for this JB Weld, but it should be pretty similar if you use a different product. First thing is you should have a small adhesive mounting disc. This one has a green backside and a gray backside. You want to remove the green backside for this particular kit and then expose the sticky part, and you want to place and press firmly onto the windshield so that the damaged area fits within the circle of the middle of the disc. Look at the disc from the inside of the vehicle to ensure no air bubbles are around the perimeter of the adhesion pad. Just showing a close-up of the placement. Chip is just about centered. Next, you want to install the small pedestal onto the window. You do this by removing the backing from the other side of the disc. This is the gray part. You'll see me remove that here. You want to align the pedestal tab with the disc tab and press firmly around the edge of the disc and the pedestal and make sure that mounts nice and clean with no air bubbles. I like to put this so that the pedestal tip is facing upwards. This just makes that applying the actual resin inside the tube a little bit easier. Nothing spills out from the side and everything is kind of gravity forced down. And you'll see right here what I mean by aligning the pedestal kind of plan north. Next step, you want to access the resin and the plunger tube from the kit. Having the resin on the left, you see there, that's the product that will fix your crack, and the plunger on the right. Take note on the plunger that there are two little tabs on the plunger, and there's a locking metal clip on the top. Those will come into play later on in the video. Next up is the real meat of the procedure, and you want to make sure you pay attention to this part of the video. You want to squeeze about 1/4 inch of the resin into the tube. This was my first pet peeve with the JB Weld product. There's no way to tell whether or not you're squeezing 1/4 inch. So what I did, I just figured, okay, I pressed one good time with my thumb. That should provide about 1/4 inch inside the pedestal. As long as I had extra resin for later on in the procedure, that's all I really was worried about. So again, that's my first pet peeve with this product, but it's not a deal breaker. After placing the resin in the pedestal, next you want to ensure the plunger is pushed completely into the syringe before use. Attach the syringe to the pedestal by carefully twisting the syringe tip into the pedestal until fitting is tight. From there, you want to gently pull upward on the plunger and lock at the second notch. That is the notch closest to the bottom of the plunger. From there, you want to sit and wait for 10 minutes. This step is essentially creating a small vacuum inside the pedestal. I'm going to give you a close-up of the plunger that's locked in place and how I'm using the metal clip to hold it at the second notch. After 10 minutes, temporarily remove the syringe from the pedestal to allow airflow into the syringe. Keeping the plunger locked in the second notch, carefully place the syringe back inside the pedestal. Holding syringe with one hand, gently push the plunger down and lock in at the first notch. I'll show you a close-up of this later. And let that sit for another 20 minutes. You are finally at the home stretch. After 20 minutes, remove the syringe. Use a safety razor that's typically provided in the kit to remove the pedestal and the disc from the glass. After that, you just want to wipe off the residual resin from the glass, making sure not to go too heavy or too much to provide any damage if the resin hasn't all the way cured. Now here's pretty much the last step. You want to take the bead of the remaining resin, place it right over the crack, and then take the curing strip, which is usually a clear plastic square piece that's in the kit, put that right on top of the resin and let the resin absorb and go around the curing strip. And then you want to use something kind of flat, either the razor, the blunt end of the razor, or maybe a squeegee of some sort to push the air bubbles out from the curing strip. Now at this point, the sun is your friend. You want the sun to actually activate and start the curing process of the resin. So hop in your car, hopefully it was in the shade up until this point, turn it around, put it in a different location, and let the sun do its job. Now on a really sunny day, I've seen this work in as little as 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes. On cloudy days, it's taken up to an hour, 2 hours until I feel comfortable that it has set and that the resin has cured. But you'll be able to tell, hopefully, based on the look of the crack. At this point, I let my car sit in the sun for about an hour. I went and go ahead and lunch. And at this point, I removed the curing strip. You just peel that right off with your finger. After removing the strip, I went ahead and cleaned the glass again with the glass cleaner. I removed the black tape that I had on the inside as well. I went ahead and cleaned the inside of the glass as well, because as I mentioned earlier in the video, I want to have a clear picture of whether or not the crack was actually fixed. I don't want any dirt or any kind of little specks that may offset and mess up my view of the crack. With the repair procedure finished, here's a close-up of the end result. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with JB Weld. Even though the kit is not the easiest to use, I've used better kits in the past. I felt Rain-X had a better kit as far as the sturdiness of the materials, but I am happy with the end result. As you can see, the crack has reduced in size significantly, and it's no kind of divot or anything in there like that. With these kits, I've always found that you do see kind of a ghost image of the crack. It's never completely gone, but as long as it's not propagating and getting larger, that is the key to this repair. Now that the repair is finished, please let me know how you like the video. Leave a comment, like, share. Also, let me know any tips of how to make this easier on myself. I love tips. I've done this a few times, but I'm always looking to make this process a little bit better. Thanks again for watching. I'm out.